Hi everyone, my name is McKenna Neal, and for my entrepreneur report, I interviewed my dad actually, Christopher Neal. Um, my dad had worked for ASICS, a running shoe company, for about 26 years, and before that, his family owned a sporting goods store, so he had had a lot of experience working in retail as well as the sporting goods industry. Um, so the reason why I decided to interview my dad was because he was recently laid off from his job at ASICS. And this gave way to him starting to really think about an idea that I guess he had been thinking about since I think it was 1989, where he first started to see how flawed our consumer slash proprietor relationship was in America and how unbalanced it was. Um, he Since then, the idea has developed a little bit more into something that looks to improve overall employee comfortability, I would say, um, in these larger corporations. He really wants to make sure that employees are being valued rather than just a means to an end of making money and creating more consumers. Something that really struck me was that he said that some that you would think that a company would say there is no company without customers, but my dad believes that there is no company without the employees. So with that being said, I was really curious about why he had never pursued this company before. Um, and the answer was more simple than I had thought. It was simply just because he had a wife and kids and he needed a steady income, and taking a leap of faith and trying to create your own company just wasn't, it was too risky for him. He really needed a steady income, and before you know it, he just got so comfortable with that, getting that same paycheck every month, that the idea of starting a business just became more and more scary to him. And I think that's where he's at right now, being older, already having a career, and now thinking about starting a business. It seems as if he just doesn't think it's possible. And it was interesting to hear Dr. F's presentation about how, in his dissertation research, he found that younger people were more willing to take the leap and start their own business because they thought that was how they were going to get money faster, as opposed to my dad, who's part of an older generation who just didn't think this was practical. So I think that would make way for a pretty good study to compare generational issues and see how entrepreneurs are more likely to be younger than they are older. So then I wanted to talk to him more about his his idea for Humans Inc. and where he wants to take it and what his next steps are in developing this company. Um, One thing that he said he really needs to do, or he wants to see happen, is a cultural shift, from those in leadership, uh, and make sure they understand how important it is to create an inclusive and diverse workspace for their employees. Now, when he said this, I automatically thought of, Google, all these different companies that have it looking like a pretty comfortable place to work. They have food, exercise, sleeping areas, all of that. But something we had talked about where those companies are flawed is that they keep you at the job longer, which makes, in short, it increases your productivity at the company. Christopher really wants to make sure that employees know they have free will. And so, a simple example of this is, rather than having exercise classes at the corporation, maybe give your employees an allowance, a monthly allowance for fitness so they can go to a fitness class or gym of their liking rather than standardizing fitness, food, sleep all in this one space. He wants to make sure that they have their autonomy still. So, and then another third theme that really struck me was I wanted to ask him who he thought was doing it right now. And one of the first people he said was Elon Musk. And I actually don't know a whole lot about Elon Musk, so it was interesting to hear his perspective. But some things that Christopher really believed in Elon Musk's company were things like SpaceX versus NASA, and how different and free-thinking SpaceX is compared to NASA. Now, of course, NASA was funded by the federal government, so they had more regulations. But SpaceX does have shareholders, so it's interesting to see how Elon Musk balances this free-thinking idea as well as making products, profitable products. So Christopher believes that in order to cultivate the same free thinking that Elon Musk has amongst all employees rather than just one person, we need to break down the barriers and elevate them to believe that they are the reason for the success in the company, rather than just feeling like being a cog in the machine. He believes that we need to make sure our employees' voices are heard. And I really, really do stand by this because as a communication major, I really do see the power of communication and how underestimated it is today. And I think simply having a leader that listens to their employees and values their ideas can be so powerful and benefit the company in so many ways that, and it's just not happening today. Everyone it's too individualistic, I would say, our society. And we need to go back to a collective style of community engagement, or just, having an open dialogue with everyone, because everyone has a different idea, and I think instead of suppressing those different ideas, we need to value them. So I mean, this cultural shift that Humans Inc. strives to do is pretty hard, but I think if I were to team up with my dad, we could create beautiful presentations. First of all, making an argument that the current system is not working, and then from there we could offer cultural diversity trainings or different trainings for leaders, sort of kind of stepping into a consulting role for these larger corporations and being an advocate for employees. So, to wrap it up, I'm really excited about this because I think there are a lot of issues within human resources, or just the way the power dynamic is between an employee and an employer. I really want to see it shift to be more collaborative rather than, the way it is now, which is 50 employees and one leader, and it's always what the leader wants. Collaboration is the key to success. I firmly believe that, and I would love to see more organizations and companies and corporations do that. So I'm excited to see where we can go with this project and to really workshop it a lot more in this class. This seems like the perfect class to do that and really start a situational analysis, start to put together a communication strategy plan and other pieces of the puzzle that we can check off our list of starting this business. So thank you.